Hello, everyone. Welcome back. My name is Jeff Mendelson, and this is the One Big Tip podcast. My guest today is Christelle Pillot. Christelle is a career optimization coach and founder of Freedom Catcher Academy. She has started her practice after realizing that that as an expat and a mother of three, she does not fit any kind of mold. She created a program integrating psychology, business, and personal development practices and help clients to create profitable careers and rediscover themselves while giving time to home and family and living a fulfilled life. Since 2015, she has taught dozens of families, companies, schools, and executives. Christelle helps clients redesign their meaningful and profitable careers, their MPC, to bring them energy, joy, ease, and fulfillment. So this is going to be an excellent conversation today. I love talking about this. Christelle, thank you so much for joining me and welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for having me with you today.
This is going to be a lot of fun. Christelle, we were talking a little bit on the, on the pre-call. You are, right now you're calling me from Germany. And I was just really excited that we were able to, start off this conversation really nicely. Please tell us a little bit about who you are and what makes you so amazing.
Oh, thank you very much. So who I am Christelle Pillot. I'm French, living in Germany, and I've been living in Germany for 20 years now. And why I'm in Germany is because I have been a chemical engineer, and that's why I came in Germany. I have done that during a while, but I have seen that it's not something I have been passionate about. And during my journey, I have seen how important it is to be passionate about something, how important it is for ourselves, but as well for our environment and for the impact that we can have in our life. So I still in Germany. My husband is German, so I have 3 boys. They are between 8 and 13. And so now I am a full-time coach. It's what I do. So why I'm so amazing? Well, I do believe that we are all amazing. So I really think that we are all unique. And how to be amazing, it's to enter our zone of genius. And how to enter our zone of genius is really to be able to be ourselves and to go for what we love to do, and to be able to be just aligned with who we are. So that's why I am amazing, and everybody can be amazing.
I love it. So let's talk a little bit about, about how you can, how you can get to that point, right? Because I think a lot of us started out, with corporate careers, right? Where we end up in an office, we get a pretty good salary, we get pretty good benefits, but at the end of the day, it can be boring. It can be repetitive. And I think most of all, it can be a little restrictive, right? Because once you start raising your kids, and depending on how far you need to drive and what kind of hours, your job actually demands of you, it can be a challenge, to juggle all those things for men and for women, right?
Yeah.
And I think one of the things that we need to think about then is, how do we manage all that? And how can we make, sort of shed those identities that we have? Well, I'm a chemical engineer here. I'm a mom. I'm also a wife, but I'm also this really great coach. And I also know how to do all these other great things. Let's talk a little bit about, how you can sort of ascertain what is the dominant trait that you want to come out, and how you can then use that to not only make yourself a better person, but to help others as well.
I think that the first step is really to look at, to really be aware of who you are and what you like doing and what you don't like to do. I believe that indeed, so I've been chemical engineer. It's not because I really love to study chemistry, but it's because the society told me, well, it's best for you to go in this direction. I wanted to be a psychologist at the first, and then I went in this direction. But I think it really starts before then with 6 years old. So people told me that the way I use my hands, because I am ambidextrous, I can use both, was not okay. So I had to change and to write with my right hand. And then it was very dramatic for me. It was complicated to handle. And I believe that at that moment, I understood that it's important to be how people wanted me to be. And if you want to be different, you can have trouble, a lot of trouble. So at that moment, somehow I try to fit into a box, but on the same time, I try to go out of this box. So it was a lot of conflict. And I do believe that we all more or less have this kind of conflicts. First thing is to be aware about our emotion, aware about our thoughts, and to look at the activities we do during the day. If we have the right activity, if we feel fulfilled about what we do, usually we feel alive, we feel good, we have energy, we are positive. If we don't have the right activities, usually we feel not good about ourselves, our self-confidence even go lower, and then it's a bad circle we go into. So the first practical tips, it would be really like to go into what do you do every day, how do you feel about the activities you do, and try just to every day to do like baby steps, so to try to change the activities you do. And in my case, I was traveling a lot, so I had two small children, and I had to travel 50% of my time all over the world. And I thought always that it was a lot of energy. I had to take a lot of energy for that. And my second thought was always, but why? So this why question was always in my mind. Why should I take so many energy and time in order to do this kind of job? Because I had the sensation that this kind of job had no big meaning for me. Um, and I believe that we can do a lot as human beings as long as we understand why we do it. If we understand why we do things, so we can put massive energy and massive movement in this direction. If we don't understand, it's just killing ourselves. So just understand why you do things, and try to do more of the things that you love to do. Try to do less of the things you don't like to do, or delegate. Simplify your life.
One of the interesting things that you talk about here is, the first step is identifying the things you like, the things you don't like. I've seen it in my own life, and I've seen it in others as well, where they have trouble even with that first step, where they're trying to figure out like, okay, well, I really like, I don't know, scuba diving, but well, no, but scuba diving is an expensive sport. I don't live near a beach. In order for me to do it, I can only do it twice a year. What I really like doing is helping people, right? And then it's like, well, helping people, oh shit, that means that I got to talk to them, right? But I really don't like talking to people, right? Yeah. So, there can be some things where, you think that you hit on it, but you're actually firing in the wrong direction, right? How do you help people sort of get to that core of what it is that they really, what they really like and what they really need to be fulfilled? How does that look?
That is really interesting, because it's exactly the kind of discussion I had this morning with the client of mine. She told me, well, I am really listening to great motivational coach, and every time I get excited and I see these big pictures, and then I go back to my daily work and I feel really bad about it, and then I think about these big things and I get afraid, and that's over. So I lose my energy, and I think I'm never going to be able to do it. And I believe that it's not so easy to find out what we love. And I speak like as a parent, as a mother and father, it's kind of the same, is that during a while, we just have to put our needs on the side in order to take care of these babies coming in the family. And then we grow with these babies and we take care of these babies, putting our needs on the side. And at some point, we don't know anymore what we really love. Sometimes we think I love scuba diving, but it's something that I loved maybe 10 or 15 years ago, I'm not sure now that I'm still loving it. It's the idea of it eventually. So we have to really define what we need now. And the first is that redefine our values. Okay, that's the thing that I kind of love, to redefine the people we like around us, and not always to see the big picture, but stay in the baby step. Like, if I liked scuba diving, but like I like scuba diving, but I live in Germany, so it's not easy to do scuba diving every day indeed. But there is a lot of things that I can do every day. And as a mother of two, three, and being like burned and having no energy and no time, so I had to relearn to do things that I love without putting that much energy into it. And sometimes it's just having a glass of wine, which I'm going to have afterwards. Sometimes just to take 5 minutes to have the coffee. And sometimes just to accept to take time for ourselves, to learn, to take time for ourselves. And it's really a process. So I know that I started that for myself, to do this small joy that we can have during the day without thinking that much about traveling and stuff like that. And then you go a little bit in this direction, and then you gain a little bit of energy and a little bit of awareness about who you are right now. And then you go further in this direction. So it's not something that you are going to be able to do in one day. It's a process. Like, you can do 1% every day. Just put one thing you love more in your day every day, and after 100 days, so you have 100 things that you can do for your day, and then you can shift your life like that. So in my case, I was engineer, and I completely, just because of that, shift my life to being a coach full time and enjoying it a lot.
What is that career change or that career shift like for you when, like, because like over here, like when you leave a job, right, you're leaving a certain sense of security. You may hate your job, right? But there is a lot of security in receiving your paycheck every 2 weeks and all of the benefits that go along with it. I'm sure it's very similar in Europe as well.
Yeah, it is.
So what is that like then for people who are really looking to make that change, but they also feel like, no, but I can't, it'll shift my identity too much. I won't be able to find that new identity to be fulfilled with it. How does that look?
Yeah, for some people is to shift the identity. For some people is the fear of failing. For some people is that they feel too guilty, too selfish as well, to just let go on a very well-paid job. So with my client, what we do is that we assess. So we look at, okay, what kind of new job would you like to do? And it's really depending. For some of them, it's just another company. For some of them, it's the big shift, like I have done, being an employee and becoming an entrepreneur, and at the same time completely changing the field from, in my case, engineering to coaching and personal development. So it's depending of the shift that you want to do. So first we clarify what kind of shift you want to do. Then we capitalize, we look at what kind of resources you have already. That's important. And then we plan. So we look at, here's the shift that I want to do. Here are the steps. Here are the risk, and what kind of risk I want to take. It's really depending. So if you are mom alone with children, so you cannot really take a lot of risk. If you are maybe a couple and one is very stable, so you can take more risk. So it's really depending. We assess the risk every time in order to see, and it's depending of the people. There is some people, they like to take risk, they are kind of aggressive, and there is some people that are, no, I don't want to take any kind of risk. So we go maybe on a side gig and we look, and so we go carefully, depending of we are all unique, right? So
Yes, thank you so much for articulating that. I was hoping that you could articulate a like a case study, someone that you've helped in the past, go from this, go from the state of not being fulfilled, of not doing what they like, and just being in a general place of, oh God, is this all there is? In and helping them transform into another career, and improving their journey and what it is that they're looking for. How have you helped other people in the past do this?
I can share one story of a client of mine. So she was working at the French government. She was burned out. She was about 50 years old or something like that. And so we started to work together. She told me that she wanted to change her job because she was burned out. She didn't want to do that anymore. And so we started to work together after having done the clarification, what she really wants. So she has seen that it's more than just changing her job. She really wanted to change her life. She was in Paris. She didn't like to live in Paris. Like a lot of people living in Paris, it's not so pretty when we live there. And then she wanted just to go on the seaside. It's where she wanted to be. And during 1 year, so we look at that. Okay, first of all, so an assessment of what she wants. And then we clarify, okay, it's not only the job, it's really like moving, changing the complete life. And then we look at her strength, passion, so what she wanted to, what kind of impact she wanted to have, and the strength that she has a lot of network. So we have seen that her network is just great. She loves to be in contact with people. So we decided, or she decided, but together to open different kind of businesses, which is usually not what I would suggest to people. I would say, okay, stay on one business and grow the business, and maybe you can do some other business afterwards, but one step after the other. But this person is a little bit different. She likes to have different kind of projects. So she opened different businesses at the same time. And yes, and now she's living in France on the seaside, and she has 3 to 4 different businesses, and she just loves what she's doing. That is one example. And what was interesting, it was during the COVID, so everybody have been in lockdown, and she just decided to take this situation to change everything. Another client of mine, I can share as well if you want. I can share.
Yes, yes, I would love to. I'd love to hear another case study.
Okay, another case study. It was a lady coming from Italia, and she lives in Frankfurt now, or in Germany, and she was soccer travel manager. So she helped the soccer team, a brilliant Italian team, to travel, and then she had to come to Germany, and she just had to give up to her job because she couldn't do that anymore, and she couldn't speak German neither. So here again, so we started to look at what she could do. So she had a part-time job in order to have money coming back, and then she decided to open her own business as well. In her case, and she's a coach now, a Feng Shui branding, self-branding coach.
Amazing. Christelle, thank you so much for sharing that. I really appreciate it. Can you please let everyone know how they can learn more about what it is that you do and how they can reach out to you directly?
Where they can reach out directly to me, you can go on my website, which is christellepillot.com. Maybe the best way to start is to go on the quiz. I have a quiz where we assess if your job is the right job for you, and if you can have some improvement there. And the second way to reach out to me is my LinkedIn account, and you can type Christelle Pillot as well, and then you are going to find me there with a lot of articles every day.
Amazing. Christelle, thank you so much for joining me today. This has been a lot of fun. I love talking about this stuff, and I really appreciate you breaking this down for us. Thank you for joining me.